Hi everyone, this is Jason here, and for this video, we'll continue on from my previous video where I'll talk about which branch evolution Pokemon is the best. If you haven't seen it, I strongly suggest you to check it out. Anyways, yeah, this video will continue to discuss which branch evolution Pokemon is the best. So let's begin. For Clampearl, it evolves into a Huntail or Gorebyss, where to do that, Clampearl must hold a Deep Sea Tooth for Huntail and for Deep Sea Scale for Gorebyss, then trade the Clampearl over to evolve. In all honesty, they're both not very viable to get, since you need to get a friend or another device to help trade the Clampearl in order to evolve. But they both have the base stats of 485, where Huntail is dominant in its attack stats, whilst Gorebyss is dominant in its special attack stats. I'll go for Gorebyss because looking at their movesets, there isn't much physical attacking moves for Huntail to utilize its high attack stats and stab. So that's Aqua Tail, and if it made it to Sword and Shield, it could have Liquidation, giving it more option for physical water type moves. On the other hand, for Gorebyss, it has a number of special attack moves that are useful to utilize, such as Hydro Pump or Surf for stab, or Psychic or Shadow Ball for type coverage. So yeah, I'd say go for Gorebyss, if possible. For Burmy, it can get really complicated. It can evolve either to a Wormadam of 3 forms if it's a female, or Mothim if it's a male, both of which has to reach level 20. Wormadam's form involves Plant Cloak being a grass and bug type Pokemon, a Sandy Cloak being a rock and bug type Pokemon, or Trash Cloak being steel and bug type Pokemon, whilst Mothim is just a bug and flying type Pokemon. All of these Pokemon have a base stats of 424 and it varies depending on the form. Plant Cloak Wormadam has high special stats, Sandy Cloak Wormadam has high physical stats, and Trash Cloak Wormadam is in between these two, whilst Mothim has high attacking stats. Between the Wormadams, don't go for the Plant Cloak because it has a wide range of weakness, and 2 of which has 4 times weakness, flying and fire type. I'd go for Trash Cloak Wormadam. Despite its 4 times weakness to fire, it has useful stab moves compared to Sandy Cloak Wormadam. Trash Cloak Wormadam has useful moves like Iron Head, Flash Cannon, Mirror Shot, whilst I think Sandy Cloak Wormadam could have had Rock Slide, but instead it gets Rock Blast and Fissure, which isn't even a rock type moves. Although all 3 Wormadams don't really have that much powerful bug type moves at its disposal. Taking on further, Mothim have indeed very useful moves, especially for stab, moves like Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz, and Air Slash. Between Trash Cloak Wormadam and Mothim, I'll go for Mothim, because it has a lot of useful moves like Quiver Dance, where it could be a potentially bulky sweep Pokemon, but beware of rock type moves. Rockruff can evolve to a Lycanroc at level 25, and the form depends on the time of the day, and even to which game to some extent. But in general, Rockruff evolves to a midday form at daytime, midnight form at nighttime, and dusk form between 5 to 6 in Gen 7 or 7 to 8 in Gen 8, and it must have the hidden ability Own Tempo. Between the Lycanrocs, they all share the base stats of 487, with midday form having high in speed and dusk form having high in physical attack. That's one difference between the 3 forms, but also their movesets. Dusk form has more movesets, and it kinda have both midday and midnight's movesets, like the moves they learn upon evolution, Excel Rock and Counter respectively. I say it's a bit rare to get Dusk form Lycanroc because of its method of evolution. It's going to be hard to get one, so I'm going to go for Lycanroc if you can. One of the reasons is because of its ability. Crush Claw seems the most useful out of all the ability of any Lycanroc could have, which boosts physical attacks with contact by 30%. Otherwise, if you're playing Sun and Moon for example, not Ultra, the next best thing is Midday Lycanroc because you can utilize its high speed, and since it has the same attack stats as Midnight Lycanroc, might as well get this one. Though the only downside is that it's not dominant in its defense stats, which makes up for its high speed stats, I suppose. At level 53, it can evolve to a Solgaleo or Lunala, and at this section, this video might as well be called which Sun and Moon Pokemon should you buy. That is because the evolution methods depend on the game. For Solgaleo, you'll be playing Sun or Ultra Sun, or Sword, though for Lunala, you'll be playing Moon, Ultra Moon, and Shield. They both share the base stats of 680, where Solgaleo is dominant in its physical stats, whilst Lunala is dominant in its special stats. Lunala has a 4x weakness to 2 types, and its ability Shadow Shield can be bulky. Since it works similar to multi-scale, the attack it receives gets reduced while the HP is full. Solgaleo, on the other hand, has full metal body, which means that its stats won't get lowered by other Pokemon, and its moveset has a wide range of move types, which is great for type coverage. Not only that, but Solgaleo also has the highest base HP stats amongst all the Steel-type Pokemon, and works well with its defense stats because if you give it Metal Burst or Morning Sun, or even Iron Defense, it can be bulky. Though arguably, Lunala can be just as bulky. It has Cosmic Power and Moonlight, and its ability makes it even more bulky than Solgaleo. Therefore, my verdict goes for Lunala. It has the potential to be bulkier than Solgaleo in both special defense and physical defense. And also it has so many special attacking moves you could choose if you happen to use Lunala. For Applin, it can evolve into a Flapple or an Appletun using a tart apple and sweet apple respectively. And to get those apples, the fastest method is the side quest in Hammerlock, where you show this person an Applin and you get either tart or sweet apple if you're playing Sword and Shield. So it's more viable to get Flapple if you're playing Sword and Appletun if you're playing Shield. They both have a base stats of 485, where Flapple is dominant in attack stats whilst Appletun is dominant in its special attacking stats. Not to mention Flapple is faster than Appletun, and Appletun is also bulkier. Appletun does prove to be a very bulky Pokemon with any of its ability. Thick Fat can mitigate the weakness, whilst Rippin can double the effect of a berry, so give it Recycle and a Citrus Berry to hold, then it'll recover majority of its HP back. Flapple also have Rippin, and if you want to give it the same strategy, it also has very interesting movesets it can use, like Dragon Dance, or its signature moves, Grab Apple, where opponent's defense drops when using these moves. But Appletun's signature moves, Apple Acid, stands at the opposite end where special defense drops when using this move. I'll go for Appletun, and the reason is that although Flapple is considered faster than the two, having 70 for base speed stat isn't that fast, and can easily be outsped by a handful of other Pokemon. Not to mention it can be a bit too fragile, especially to Ice-type moves. The same can be said to Appletun, but it's bulkier, and you could try to give it Iron Defense, Body Press, Apple Acid, and Recover. So that's kinda like my suggestion. Competitive battling is in my strategy, so let's just move on. Toxel evolves to Toxtricity at level 30, and there's two outcomes, the amped or the low-key form. Its evolution method is a bit random, since it depends on the nature of Toxel. So these are the following natures if you want to have either forms. Because it's dominant in its special attack, I would suggest the best nature it should have is the one that's dominant in special attack, which happens to be modest, mild, rash, and quiet, three of which belongs to low-key Toxtricity, while rash belongs to amped form. Its punk rock ability is also very helpful with sound-based moves, which both forms have. Boom Burst, Overdrive is signature ability. Hyper Voice, Round, Snarl, Snore, and Uproar. More for amped form have useful moves like Shift Gear for speed, but low-key form have Discharge. Overall, I'm picking the low-key form. Most of the possible nature it has can be catered towards its high special attack stats. But to be honest though, there isn't a big difference, and I really like amped form's design. When I play Pokemon Shield, I own a low-key Toxtricity, and it's very cool to use. Moreover, it has a very unique type of Poison and Electric, where no other Pokemon would have this type of type combo. Feels more like a marketing this Pokemon than suggesting which evolution is best. But let's move on to the next Pokemon. This Pokemon, Kubfu, is exclusive to the Isle of Armor DLC package, and the method of evolution is pretty much the same. You can choose to access either the Tower of Darkness or the Tower of Water, where there's a scroll that Kubfu gets and evolves from, and you can only choose one of the tower. It evolves to Urshifu, either to Single Strike style, or which is a darkened fighting type, or Rapid Strike style, which is water and fighting. In my experience, I went with the Single Strike, and it was cool to use. I really liked the design. But later I played again, and another account where I choose the other one. It's a bit too soon to say whether I like Rapid Flow or not. There's no stats difference between the two Urshifu, but it's good I guess that the Single Strike Urshifu has less weakness exposure, since it's only weak to 3 types, whilst Rapid Flow is weak to 5 other types. Furthermore, the Single Strike Urshifu is immune to Psychic type, which is great for dark fighting type Pokemon like Urshifu. One of the other reasons I like Single Strike is because of its Gigantamax form. Since red is my favorite color, I went with that form. But to be honest, the third is a tie. Go with whichever you like most because both Urshifus are amazing. But I'd go with the Single Strike Urshifu because I guess I'm a bit biased since I had experience with this Urshifu and I really like its design. Anyways, let's take a break. So for the next video, I'll continue talking about which branch evolution Pokemon is the best. This time taking a different approach, where I will look at the regional variants and evolution. So be sure to look at this. Without further ado, please like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you in the next video. So bye!